It's Premier League Week 37 and FA Cup Final Picks edition of the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for bettors. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with the promo code SGPN and get a $25 deposit bonus. We're also brought to you by Naira Bets. Claim your $200 deposit bonus today at nairabets.com/SGPN200. Promo code SGPN200. Welcome, everybody, to the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is, no idea, May the 15th, Thursday. Is it Thursday? This Thursday, isn't it? Thursday, May
It's
the
literally
15th.
in the top left corner of your screen.
Oh, shit, yeah. See new studio, Baz. Luckily, because I've got the baseball scores open. That's the page I went on to because that's always got the date on. But then I'm not always on the right day. I'm sometimes looking at another day. It doesn't say it's Thursday, though, although I should know that. It's Thursday, May the 15th. It's 10:35 p.m. It says that as well. And we are here to handicap not a full card of Premier League action, 8 Premier League games.
What?
And
Whoa. You've only done half the Premier League slate.
no.
You've got to go
When's
all the
he
way
got that
through.
to?
You've got to go through
Have
to
you-
Tuesday, and it's a full 10 games. Everybody's playing. Just put them all out.
Well, we're going to do a show before that, you tit. Have you done all of them?
Of course they have.
I'll tell you what, I love it when we have these production meetings in the first 3 minutes of the show. No, we do that next week.
Well, you do you. That's fine.
Well, we're not doing them. I haven't yet. So, we're here to handicap 8. That's 8 Premier League games on Friday, Sunday, and Monday, and the FA Cup final on Saturday afternoon, all by itself. Joining me is Mr. Barry Penaluna. Hiya, Barry. How are you?
I'm all right. Been out for dinner tonight. Treat myself. Well, treat the family. It's Chloe's birthday. Eldest child turned 15 today.
Oh, wow.
So we've been out for a carvery. What do you think about that?
Oh, love a carvery.
Yeah, I do, but I was a little bit underwhelmed, I'll be honest. I think
what?
Toby Carvery's gone downhill over the years. Like, they're a little bit stingy on the old meat, and there was a distinct lack of a lot of the vegetable options. And me being healthy, I was looking forward to a little bit of cabbage or a bit of swede, maybe a bit of broccoli. I had none of that. I had loads of carrots, green beans, all the meats. But
How many Yorkshires did you have?
I'd skipped the Yorkshire, and I only had a couple of roast potatoes. To be honest, they were a bit dry. I was again a bit disappointed by the roast potatoes. So a bit of a letdown.
Cauliflower cheese?
No, I skipped that. I'm being good, man, Malcolm.
That's not going to kill you, is it? A bit of cauliflower cheese?
That's the worst thing on there, isn't it? It's all that cheese. But it was Chloe's birthday. She chose. She could choose anywhere she wanted to go for dinner. And Toby Carvery was her choice.
Which one of the gravies did you have?
Because I can be healthy with that. Whereas had she said Pizza Hut, I would have been a little bit screwed. So I was
had a side salad. Which one of the gravies did you choose?
Just the classic meat gravy in it.
And final question: what was the condiment selection? Mint.
Oh, no condiment. You don't need any of that. None.
No condiments.
Just gravy.
You have a condiment, Baz. That's ridiculous. That's really ridiculous. I'm actively quite angry at you, Barry, at this point. And that's not like me. You know that. I'm quite a placid fella. But that's agitated me. Right, we're going to move on before I kick right off. Who's in the chat? There's all sorts of people in the chat. We need to say bye to Connor. just before he goes. Connor said if we're not picking Southampton this week, he's going. So, I mean, have you encouraging Connor to stay, Barry? You picking Southampton?
I hope he stays to the very, very end, is what he needs to do.
Massive tease there. Right, Connor,
Tease.
you're involved for another 54 minutes, unlucky.
Come back for the
Michael's going
exotics.
to and Andy Williams, obviously. Andy was first in. Courtney and the Backus family have got a high school graduation in a few hours. Emotional times. I'd like to think that me and Barry have actively kind of helped you parent the children over the last few years. That's a big part of the reason we do this show. But I've got a good story about children coming up in a minute, Barry, because there's been an incident this evening. An incident, let me tell you. Let's have a look. Really busy period coming up. 8 Prem games in the FA Cup this weekend. Then we get the remaining Premier League games on Tuesday. We've got the remaining playoff games over the weekend, which I already handicapped the other night. And then there's the Europa League final, which is next Wednesday. That surprised me, Baz. I don't know why. I'd looked and I knew the date. And then I looked again and I thought, oh, shit, that is next week. In my head, it was 3 or 4 weeks off. And it's not. It's a week yesterday. And Barry, here's something exciting. Where will I be watching the Europa League final, Barry?
Not in Bilbao, I'm assuming.
Well,
you're going to be in Yorkshire somewhere.
we're not far away geographically. Do you remember my high-profile Premier League celebrity client from a few years ago?
Yep.
He wants me to go back, Baz. He's been back in touch just this evening. Next Wednesday. So I can only assume, well, there's 2 options here, one of which I'll be sorely disappointed with, and one of which I'll be really excited about. Option 1 is they've got no interest in watching the football at all, because I really want to watch that match. So if I go down there and they've got no interest in watching the football, I'm going to be disappointed. Because what I want is a really good hate watch. We've got a couple of good hate watches coming up, and we're going to talk about them in a little while. But with it being a Manchester City, Manchester United type thing, I'm hoping that it's a big old hate watch with my, I'm going to say friend now, with my Premier League and England international friend. So I asked one of the lads who normally comes. Last time I got a local croupier, but one of my mates wants to come down for the crack. So next Wednesday afternoon we're heading down. So we're doing 7 till 10 as well, which made me think it was football, because last time we did 5 till 8. Do you know what I mean? So we're doing 7 till 10. I'll see if I can get my roulette ball back out of his lake. So yeah, more to come on that next week. I was going to ask you about the birthday celebrations. If you had the birthday, is it today?
Birthday was today, yeah.
Right.
15 today.
Presents, did you pull it off?
She wanted a Sam Fender ticket at St James's Park. So that's cost me a lot of money, because not only have I had to pay £80 for her to get a ticket, I've got to pay £80 for me to get a ticket as well.
Yeah.
So that's cost me £160. Other than that, that's all I dealt with. Mother dealt with everything else, didn't she? So clothes, makeup, cash, all of that sort of stuff. But it's all very much clothes and gigs at the moment. It's all she's interested in.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. The playoffs, Barry, I've done remarkably well since we recorded the show on Monday. I'm sitting on 3 from 3, Baz. For a profit of 8.17 units. That's all right, of 3 bets. We took Coventry on, what night was it? Monday, Tuesday? Tuesday night. Coventry 16-5 to win in 90 minutes, if you're wondering, because obviously Sunderland went through eventually. But Coventry to win in 90 minutes. Orient to qualify. Have that, Andy, told you. 13-8 plus 167. And then Charlton to win tonight. Fucking Wycombe Wanderers are a horrible, horrible football team, by the way. Jesus Christ. And Charlton nicked it late on and won 1-0. 5-4 plus 125. So 3 plus money winners. So that's good. Connor Mack has got £79 on Charlton at 12-1. I love that.
Nice, that.
Connor, let us know. Are you going to be laying any of that off, Connor? Or what? He's used my tactic of just putting the loose change on whenever you got a chance, which is I love that system of having a lumpy bet on something. So yeah, let us know if you're going to lay a little bit of that off, Connor. And finally, just on the back of the playoffs, we said Sunderland did win the other night, Baz, and I put a Twitter poll up, which I'm going to mention for two reasons. Firstly, I think I'm an influencer now, Baz. I'm thinking, yeah, I don't know, you can laugh. I think I can officially, you can say I'm a influencer because we got 850 votes. Well, that's thousands, isn't it?
All right. How did that come about, Malcolm?
Because you told me to tag two polls, and that's not the fucking point, Barry. Listen,
I'm
I'm
the
the
fucking influencer.
ideas man.
I'm the
You're
influencer
not.
around here.
You were the worker bee in the background, but I'm the ideas man. And the poll was, if you had to choose either Manchester United or Sunderland to win their impending finals, who would you choose? So 850 votes, Barry. Like I said, thousands of votes. And it finished really close, which tells you, like, just what an awful decision it is. It's like, which one of your mates do you want to shag your sister? Like, it finished 56% Man United and 44% Sunderland. And I think we both said Sunderland. We prefer Sunderland to win because there is an outcome in Sunderland winning where both teams. Because ideally, what we want is both of those teams to be permanently downtrodden. So if Sunderland get in the Prem, they can then go on to have an entirely downtrodden season, hopefully challenge Southampton or Derby County for that low points record now. And then Man United will carry on being shit because they've lost. But if Man United win, then that whole Champions League money thing, the fact they can attract players just concerns me slightly. So I went for Sunderland in that, Baz. Against the trends, like I say, it was 56% Man United. But that was your thinking as well, wasn't it, the Mackham?
Exactly the same, yeah. I thought for the same reasons. Sunderland can always go up and embarrass themselves, and I can live with that.
Yeah, we're all right with that. I need to tell you about this incident as well, but I'll do that. The D-Gens line of gear, of which I'm wearing nearly all of it, is live in the merch store. And to celebrate, we're taking 20% off everything with the promo code D-Gens. So I've taken the boys to football tonight to training, Bob and his mate Lucas. I have then taken them home. I went into friends of mine, Lucas's parents, are friends of mine. We're going on holiday with them. Lovely people. Christian and Dion live up in Great Park in the big posh houses. Dion had been having some problems with our Japanese maple, so I went in to have a look. So we're all stood having a lovely chat outside. And then Lucas, boys will be boys, Barry, and they're quite fond of this trick. He kegged me in the street. Now, if I were American or Canadian, listeners don't know what that is. It's when someone pulls your shorts or trousers down. They sneak up behind you and yank your pants down. So him having fun as a 13-year-old. What I didn't realise was I've got those fancy bamboo slippy pants on that I talked about. So everything came down, Baz. So the entirety of the Moat family, Dion, a very nice young professional woman, Kristen, her husband, who was on his knees at the time because he was sawing something in half, and the rest of the street all got a full-on view of my cock, balls, massive bush, and arse for about 4 or 5 seconds. But Lucas, the poor kid, was absolutely mortified. Like, it's one of the worst days of his life. I've never seen anyone turn as red. He didn't know if he was in trouble. He didn't know if could laugh. Dion's obviously eyes were on stalks. Kristen wasn't thrilled because he was about 8 inches away from the inch. So yeah, that was the incident. Baz, anything to add about that?
Yeah, I'd imagine you weren't embarrassed by any of it. You probably just walked around
No,
for
that's
about 2 minutes like that, did
no.
you?
Hey, listen, it was a warm evening, Barry. I was all right, swaying in the wind. That's why it took 4 or 5 seconds for me to put it away, rather than the half a second that I could have done it in. I just I let the wind get in there for a little bit. So that was that. Barry, do you have anything you want to add before we start making some actual picks on all this football?
No, we're 15 minutes in. We better get on with some picks, hadn't we?
Yeah, we better get on with it, hadn't we? We've talked more bollocks than when we did when we had nothing to pick the other night. Bootle's joined us in the chat, and Harry Chelsea. How are we doing? I'll read some of these adverts out now, shall I? Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums. Earn cashback rewards, 100% approval for all betting deposits. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with the promo code SGPN. Deposit $25. EdgeBoost match that deposit. EdgeBoost.bet promo code SGPN. The Preakness is just around the corner, and there's no better time to get in on the action with Naira Bets. Sign up today. Use the promo code SGPN200. Score a $200 deposit match bonus. Don't wait. Head to nairabets.com/SGPN200 and claim your $200 deposit match bonus today. That's nyrabets.com/SGPN200. And Underdog have launched their new ladders game. Win up to 500 times your money watching the favourite players climb the ladder. Use our code PLGP to claim a special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code PLGP. Just briefly harking back to the Preakness, I did the main show with Sean and Ryan and the Wolf of Oaklawn and the other Barry on the network, Barry the Sniper. And we covered the Preakness last night. So coming off a win for me in the Kentucky Derby in a 50-1 second in the Oaks, it turns out, as well as being an influencer, I am an American horse racing expert. So get your Preakness picks on that. Austin has joined us in the chat. Austin, where wants the vegetable chat, as always. Baz, you need to start waiting for Austin to get here. That's about 3 times you've gone off half-cocked. And Austin, poor Austin turns up, and he's missed the vegetables. That's no good. Callum's complaining about us being late. Callum, we're not that bothered, sorry. Right, we're going to do this in chronological order, Barry, because it works out quite nicely for a couple of reasons. There's 2 Friday night Premier League games here. A 7:30 Eastern kickoff between Aston Villa and Tottenham Hotspur, where Aston Villa are 9-25, which is minus 277. The draw is 9-2 plus 450, and Spurs are 6-1, drifted out half a point. Tottenham from earlier on in the day. The 2 game, it's worth mentioning the second game that's on at the same time here, which is Chelsea against Manchester United, because it's a really weird little 2-game slate. The games have been moved to give Manchester United and Tottenham an extra little bit of rest before the Europa League final next week. But it does, we talked about this last week, sort of bring into question the competitive balance of the league here, where you've got Spurs and Man United, who just aren't going to try even a little bit. What it does do for us, Barry, is gamblers, is give us a fucking wonderful opportunity to pick up a money line double. Like, honestly, this could be the biggest team ride in the history. So, yeah, 2 pointless Friday night games. This one, I feel, is the most pointless of the 2. If I was going to, I think there's a potential. The other one could be slightly more competitive. This one is because I think you'd fancy Villa strongly anyway. Even if everyone was going full tilt, you'd fancy Villa pretty strongly. They've beaten Newcastle, Manchester City, Chelsea, Forest, Brentford, all at Villa Park. You can't factor Tottenham in at all. They're absolute shit, but the form is absolutely irrelevant, as they're not going to try either. The Villa team total, for example, over 1.5 Villa goals is 1-3, minus 300. You've got to go to over 2.5 team total to get that up to even money for Aston Villa. So at those prices, I just think Villa to win on the handicap appeals more. Factors in the 2-0, do you know what I mean? It's going to be non-competitive, but Villa minus 1.5 goals. Canter, goal in each half, win 2-0, probably 3-0, because Tottenham can't defend. So, yeah, I'll take Villa on the handicap.
Yeah, we might end up in the same place on both of these.
We're not the only ones. Everyone listening, everyone watching, everyone in the world is
I
picking
just
the
looked
same
at this
2 picks
and
as we're about to.
What an absolute shit show this is for a Friday night of football. Like, both games both of them have been brought forward to the Friday to give those 2 teams more time to prepare for their big cup final, despite the fact that neither of them are likely to try much in this game. So we may as well let them play Saturday or Sunday. They'd have put as much into it as they will do on the Friday. I mean, Spurs in particularly showed their hand last week in the lineup they put out. They have no intention of taking any risks with players. And I think it'll be exacerbated this week because the one player they did risk last week was Kulusevski, and he's now out for the rest of the season. So that pushes Ange even more into just resting everyone for this. I'd be amazed if Spurs have any kind of team out for this one. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. You sort of look away from the form anyway because of what we know the priority is. But if you do look at the form, Spurs have won just one of the last 10 Premier Leagues anyway. And they are unbackable. Once again, they'll be allowed to lose. Ange will act like it was bad luck, and everyone will move on from it, and they'll move on to their big game midweek. Villa are really good at home anyway. They've not lost since before Christmas. They've won the last 7 straight, including wins over Newcastle, PSG, Forest, Chelsea, all at Villa Park. So same pick, Villa to win here. I'll take them on a handicap as well. Villa win -1.5. I've got them at evens.
Yep. The second game kicks off later, 45 minutes difference in kick-off times, 8:15, 3:15 Eastern time. Chelsea and Manchester United. Chelsea were the same price earlier on, slightly bigger now. Still 9-25, -277. 4-1 the draw, and Manchester United have shortened up here. 11-2 from 6-1, plus 550 for Man United, Baz.
So yeah, similar situation. Although, like you've alluded to, I think I'd probably put these two a little bit closer together. As I think Chelsea have been fairly average lately. Villa have probably been a bit better. I mean, at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea have been in good form, no defeat in 9. And they have beaten all of the shite at the bottom of the table. Spurs, West Ham, Everton, Leicester, Southampton. So there's no reason to think they wouldn't beat Man United here anyway, who fit just into that sort of group of teams. And as I said last week, I don't know if Man United have given up or if they just really aren't good enough, because they have been put out a fairly strong line-out most weeks. Maybe a bit of both, but I just don't think this is a spot where you can make any case for them, even at 11-2, and even against the Chelsea side, who might be a little bit vulnerable at the moment, because we just don't know what you're going to get from Man United this week. You don't know who starts, who's rested, or who even cares about the outcome. Probably none of them. I felt very similar to the first game, and I've gone exactly the same pick. I went for Chelsea -1.5. I mean, we saw Chelsea at home 2 weeks ago against a side resting players who had no care for the outcome, and they went and beat Liverpool 3-1 on that day. So if they can beat Liverpool by 2 goals, maybe we'll get a similar outcome here. Chelsea -1.5 on the handicap at 11-10. But I have wrote at the bottom here what you said right at the beginning. If you want to be safe, just take Villa and Chelsea in a double at 10-11 for the two of them to win this game. These games just looks an absolute gift.
Well, this was one of the reasons I wanted to do these 2 games separately before the FA Cup final, before we go into the rest, because it just gives you such an opportunity. And we saw little things like Southampton nicked that point off Man City last week. Well, this is just a different set of circumstances. And everyone here in the chat has tried to cobble together how best to. Everyone's handicapped it the same, but like we've said in the past countless times, you then have to land on the right bet. Courtney, I loved Courtney's pick. Was it the team total over 1.5 for Chelsea and Aston Villa pays round about -123. Harry reckons will score 3 or 4. Yeah, the Villa Chelsea team total was great. What else we got in there? Mason Mount any time from Michael. But the Chelsea Villa money line parlay, Austin's called out. I've got it down as -117. Austin's found round about -110. So shop around. And it does look like finding money in the street bars that play. Joe Dollar has joined us and Jason as well. I wasn't slamming Southampton, Connor. I just said it was an unusual result. He's dead touchy, our Connor, isn't he? Touchy. Right, okay. Everything's gone grey on my screen, Barry. Hang on, let's type that. That's all right. I fixed it. Shut up. I fixed it. Right. No, I'll read these adverts. God, where's the time gone, Baz? We need to hurry up. Stop talking shit. We'll do the FA Cup after I've told you about Rhythm. Your home for AI-backed picks and props. Dominate the NBA playoffs and MLB prop market with Rhythm. Build your own model. It's simple and easy. Rhythm knows you love it. That's why they include a 7-day free trial. Get your 7-day free trial at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. 2 great offers, 25% off the monthly or 50% off the annual subscription. The promo codes are SGPN25 or SGPN50 at RITHMM. And mybookie.ag, your place to bet on every sport, including the NBA playoffs, props for every game, the money bag, which is all random bet, loads of fun. Crypto accepted there too. Head to mybookie.ag with the promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. T's and C's apply. mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. And finally, the Circa Ultimate Fantasy Football giveaway. Circa Resort and Casino in Vegas, giving away the ultimate fantasy football experience for a 12-person league to draft in Vegas and be treated like VIPs for this stay. The entire 12-person league gets put up in Circa Resort and Casino. The draft is at Stadium Swim with a $5,000 booze tab, limo transportation, legacy club party, reservation for the sports route with another £500 booze tab. The duration of the contest is May the 5th to June the 30th. Enter at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. Okay. FA Cup final is on Saturday at 4:15, which is 11:15 Eastern time. Crystal Palace taking on Manchester City. Crystal Palace are 7-2 inside 90 minutes. The draw's 29-10 plus 290. Man City 3-4 minus 133. To lift the trophy, Crystal Palace 11-5 plus 220 and 9-25 minus 277 Manchester City. This will be extra time and penalties. Anyone who doesn't know the format. Crystal Palace have never won a major trophy, Barry, in their history. Manchester City are going for one of a gazillion FA Cups they've won recently. I was instinctively drawn to Crystal Palace at the prices, Baz. Partly, I think, because I want them to win. But the thing that puts me off Palace mainly is their form against top 5 teams. They've struggled. They've played 9 games in the Premier League, no wins. They've drawn 4 and lost 5. They've been in better form lately. They're unbeaten in 4 in the league. And then you throw in that semi-final win against Aston Villa, 3-0 at Wembley, was a really, really good win. The draw at Arsenal is decent form as well. Man City's form was okay until that inexplicable 0-0 against Southampton last week. But lots of green in the form, but the performances weren't convincing for me, Baz. The late goals against Everton, the very late goal against Aston Villa, and also their form away from the Etihad caught my eye. Now, I get this as a neutral venue. They're not away as such, but they're not at home either. 7 wins in 18 in the league away from the Etihad. And they've also played 5 away games in the Champions League and only managed 1 win. So that's a total of 8 in 23. And you want us to back them at like 9-25, minus 277. I don't think you can do it with that record. It just doesn't appeal at all. Palace double chance appeals to me at even money, plus 100. I think the longer it goes on, extra time, etc., Manchester City are more likely to win. So if you want to take Palace outright, I'd be doing it in the 90 minutes. I'd take Palace at 7-2 plus 350. But I think Palace can avoid defeat here in the 90. They've got previous. Say Man City is struggling to beat teams, and that record away from home is a concern. So yeah, I'll take Palace on the double chance at even money, but I wouldn't put you off the 7-2, Baz, for Palace to win in 90.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I couldn't get to City either. I haven't went the same way as you, but I didn't like City at the prices. Connor Mack's asking if you've got a price for City, Palace to take the lead or to score first. And Butler's also talking about putting them in the ACCA freeze where he would be looking for the same thing. So see if you can find a price on that. But it should be a decent one, this, I think, given the way the two league meetings went. We had a 2-2 earlier in the season, and then we had that crazy 5-2 where Palace went 2-0 up, should have been 3-0 up, and then it all unravelled. Palace were really good in the semi-final against Villa, and a similar level of performance here would see them in with a real shout of picking up the trophy. For City, it's a final chance to rescue something from the season. I think sort of see why they're favourites. Decent enough form recently, but they were also favourites and in better form than Man United last year when they come into this final and still made a mess of that. I didn't like the price on City, but I went for goals just because of what we've seen in the recent games. Seen 11 goals in total across those two head-to-heads. I just don't see Palace going pragmatic here. And I think both will play their part in making this a fairly decent final. It's 8-11 for over 2.5 goals. A little bit of a short pick, so I'll put up the over 3.5 as well at 7-4. But I think there'll be goals at either end in this one. Over 2.5 at 8-11 and over 3.5 at 7-4 for me.
Price on Palace to score first is 7-4. Plus 175. Sorry, I hotkeyed myself out ever so briefly there, Barry, but I hotkeyed myself back in just as quickly. So yeah, Eze, a goal or assist in his last 10 games. Michael's given us like that, Michael. So back to the Premier League, which recommences on Sunday. All sorts of stupid kickoff times here again. 12 o'clock kickoff between Everton and Southampton. I think this early kickoff here is because this is the last ever game at Goodison Park. So I imagine the authorities want to keep everyone slightly more sober for all the shenanigans at the end of the game. Everton taking on Southampton. Everton at 2-5, minus 250. The draw's 15-4 plus 375. Southampton 6-1, Baz.
Yeah, it's going to be carnage, this, isn't it? Because this game's going to finish, and then everyone's going to be like unscrewing their seats and digging up bits of the turf and everything. And then
you can't buy your seats, Baz. You don't have to nick it.
Oh, people will still nick them.
We're talking about why you just wouldn't fucking nick it. They're the two options. It's much more fun just to nick it, innit? And you'd be 100 quid better off.
Yeah, they'll be in there with their screwdrivers and that, won't they? I mean, they announced yesterday that the women's team are going to take over Goodison Park. I'd like to see what state it's in after fans have helped themselves to everything. They're going to have to rebuild it.
There shouldn't be enough seats left for the masses of EFC ladies fans.
Anyway, Everton 2-5. Is that the price on Everton? Yeah. I'm not having any of that. They've only won 2 of their last 11. And both of them were away from home. At home, they've not won in 7. And fair enough, they're up against Southampton and all that. But both Southampton and Leicester showed last week they can still be a bit of a nuisance now that the pressure's off. Southampton do have 3 draws in their last 7 games, so they've finally got the points they needed to avoid hitting an unwanted record. And I say the other factor is the final game at Goodison, and there'll be a big desire for Everton to go out on a high, but that doesn't guarantee anything anyway. I think, for me, I've been drawn to goals again here. I do feel they're not going to want to finish at Everton on a drab 0-0. I can see it being a bit more exciting than that. Everton have drawn 5 of their last 6 home games, but 3 of them 5 draws finished 2-2 as well. I think we might see a few goals here at both ends, and particularly Southampton are going to play like they did against City, where they were just defending for their lives. I think they'll come out, play a bit more this week. Everton's home record hasn't been good. Over 2.5 goals for me. 4-5 for over 2.5 goals between Everton and Southampton.
Connor is going to the match, going to Goodison. 52 quid to watch that, Connor reckons. You could sell that ticket for a bit, though. I did just realise, Baz, I never gave my Chelsea Man United pick out. The answer is Chelsea win in under 4 goals. I love shit like that. 11-8 plus 137. Goal in each half, win 2-0. So Ian joined us in the chat. Ian, lights out. Welcome along. Horrible game. Everton got an ugly win at Fulham. Another false final. The 2-2 home draw against Ipswich last time out doesn't fill you with confidence about taking them at 2-5 to beat anybody. Southampton have gone back-to-back under 2.5 and both teams to score no, where Everton have gone back-to-back both teams to score and over 2.5. Yes, so they kind of conflict. Southampton, the goals conceded has gone right down recently, as it happens. For some reason, they seem to be able to defend a bit better lately. 2.28 down to 1.75 goals per game. I just couldn't pull the trigger on anything, Barry. Anything, nothing appealed to me at all. So I jumped into the stats market, and I think, Barry, this game's going to be played like a testimonial. I think Southampton, they've got no reason to want to get involved, have they? So Everton will want to win. And this probably should be good enough to win. Southampton will let them win 1 or 2-0. But because it's just going to be a complete nutter nothing game, I've gone in the cards market and I've gone under 3 cards. I can't see anyone go crunching into anyone. It's just going to be played at half pace, especially like the last half an hour. It's going to be a carnival atmosphere. It's a load of bollocks. Under 3 cards gives us a push at 3 because you sort of imagine that's not a bad line. 21-20 plus 105. But absolutely nothing could happen. They could very easily just mince around all day and not go near each other. So under 3 cards with lack of alternatives. Baz, 21-20 plus 105. It's an arse sniffer of the week, according to Michael. Loves that. Get in.
He said that earlier, Malcolm. That was for a different bet.
Oh, was that a different bet?
That comment's been there 3 minutes, man.
Oh, right, sorry. He's probably going to type it again. That must be for the Chelsea and under 4 goals. Anyway, they're all great picks. That's only I've won all 3 in the playoffs this week, but 2:15 on Sunday, 9:15 Eastern time. West Ham United taking on Nottingham Forest. West Ham 7-4 plus 175, 23-10 the draw plus 230. Forest 31-20 plus 155. West Ham got their first win in 9 games last week. Unfortunately, it doesn't count because it was at Manchester United. So you have to assume West Ham will be shit again because there's no reason to assume anything otherwise. Before that, they were on an 8-game streak of alternating between a draw and a defeat. That's what West Ham are up to. Forest only 1 win in 6, and that was against Spurs. So that doesn't count either, unfortunately. We have to discount all of those. Back-to-back draws for Forest. And this is a sport where neither team seems able to win. Forest have tried in various spots and just can't seem to get it done. And there's that entire weird thing going on with Taiwo Awoniyi at the moment, and the injury and the coma and all that. There's madness. I really like the draw in this spot, Baz. Forest are still hard to beat. The couple of games they've lost have been close games, slightly unfortunate circumstances. But I like the draw 23-10 plus 230. And this 100% Barry is the 1-1 draw of the week at 6-1. We don't have the music, so sing it in your head now. Very good. Yeah, I'll take the draw, but.
Yeah, I mean, the wheels have fallen off for Forest, having 1 win in 7 now. And I think it's a slide that they might possibly not be able to stop at this stage. I mean, however the season ends, it's been a good one for Forest. Guaranteed Europe now. They'll be cheering on Palace because a Palace win would mean they are guaranteed. Oh, no, they beat Man City, sorry, because a Man City win would mean Forest are guaranteed Europa League and not Conference League. But haven't been in the top 4 pretty much all of the season. It would be a little bit of disappointment, I would imagine. But they can still get back in there. A win here for Forest would put them back in contention for the top 5. It would get them going into the last day, still with a chance of the top 5. So it's still all to play for. But like you, I found it really hard to come down on either side. Neither of them winning often enough. But I could see we will make it a few goals here. I mean, Forest have been good defensively most of the season. But on the road, they've got no clean sheet in their last 7. Both teams to scores hit in 6 in a row for Forest. And 5 of the last 6 West Ham games have all went both teams to score as well. So I like the both teams to score. That's 3-4, a little bit short. But I mean, that would obviously play into your pick. But I have tagged on the over 2.5. Someone might nick this one. I can see both teams getting on the score sheet. I'm going to go for the over 2.5 goals and both teams to score at 6-5.
Just talking about everyone singing the song there, Baz, reminded me that it's Eurovision this week. In last year we did a little preview show, didn't we? And it was loads of fun.
You did.
I did, yeah. You wouldn't have any of that, but yeah, we might see if I've got time. We'll get out some maybe a YouTube short rather than a full 40-minute appraisal. I watched a little bit of the semi-final before the French bird doing that, like corks raining on our head. Funny business, Baz. Next game is a 3:00 kickoff between Brentford and Fulham. Brentford are 9-10, -111. 29-10 the draw, +290. 27-10 Fulham, +270. Barry.
I thought this one was really easy, to be honest.
Yep, it is.
In terms of land on a pick. Brentford are unbeaten in 6. They've just won 4 in a row. They scored 4 in each of their last 2 at home. They put 4 past Man United, 4 past Brighton. And I just think they were really hard to oppose here at the prices. Fulham have just dropped off massively. They've lost 5 of the last 7. And away from home, they've lost 4 of the last 5. The only team they beat was Southampton. So I didn't look any further than that. I thought Brentford are close to evens, given the respective form of the two sides. I'll take Brentford to win. Brentford to beat Fulham at 9-10.
Yeah, this is a classic old school form, wasn't it? If you're looking at horse racing form, whatever form you want to look at, this you picked on form. Brentford make much more appeal. 4 in a row, 11 goals have scored on those 4. Fulham lost 4 or 5. Didn't feel like I needed to go any deeper into the game once I got involved. Exactly the same as yourself, Barry. I'll take Brentford at 9-10, -111.
You talked there about picking on form. Funnily enough, I had that in my notes at the start, that I haven't really done that with a lot of these games, because the way the last week, a couple of weeks have gone, where it's just been very unpredictable. I think there's a lot more of just what's your instinct, and sort of, you're guessing at what teams are going to try and do, or whether teams are actually going to try at all. So yeah, this was one of the few where form come into it, as opposed to just, right, what's my hunch here?
Yeah, fair enough. Next up is a 3:00 kickoff between Leicester City and Ipswich Town. Leicester are 13-10, +130. 5-2 the draw, +250. And Ipswich are 2-1. Well, yeah, bit of a minger this one, Baz. Bit of a dog with fleas. We had this a couple of weeks ago with Leicester v Southampton, didn't we? And we tipped up Southampton, and that was a bit silly. Leicester have got a win and 2 draws in their last 5 games. They did beat Southampton 2-0 at home in a decent comp game to this. Played well at Nottingham Forest last week as well. Ipswich have actually got 5 away points in their last 4 away trips as well. They've got a win at Bournemouth and a draw at Chelsea and a draw at Everton, all in there. And the common thread through all of that, Baz, was that they scored 2 goals in all 3 of those games. Leicester are conceding 2.17 goals per game, which is enough to get us over that number. So this could be absolutely anything. So I'm just going on that trend of Ipswich being able to get on the score sheet. It did backfire last time when Leicester beat Southampton 2-0. But I'm going to take the Ipswich team total over 1.5 at 11-8 +137. But I imagine this game will be way down my list of things I get involved with.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things here. First things first, this has pissed me off about teams not trying and not bothering and all this sort of thing. I mean, these teams are allowed not to try in this game, because that's fine. Leicester have announced today this will be Jamie Vardy's last game, his last ever game for Leicester. Despite the fact they've got 2 games left, they've just decided that he won't play the last game because it would be lovely for him to finish his Leicester career at home. That's fucking bollocks, isn't it? Why should he not play next week against Bournemouth? Why is that? It's just fucking playing a weakened team for the sake of it. It's the integrity of the league at stake here. That's bollocks. Not having that. So yeah, Vardy's last game, he's going for his 200th goal is what he needs. He's on 199 Leicester goals. He needs one for his 200. So if he doesn't get it this weekend, they're not going to give him a chance to do it against Bournemouth next week. Fucking ridiculous. I'm furious about that. I don't get it. Oh, it wouldn't it be lovely if he finishes this weekend just in front of our fans? Ridiculous. Anyway, two teams who have stunk the place out for a while now. But actually, I think this game could be all right. You know, there's potential for them both to just have a go at going out on a bit of a high, because why not? What else have they got left here? So it was a bit of a hunch, this one, but I think I like the goals. You've gone for Ipswich to get a couple. But both teams have gone over 2.5 goals in 4 of the last 5. Neither of these teams know how to keep a clean sheet. So I'm going to take both of them to go for it here. I'm going to take the over, but I'm going to be brave. I'm going to take the over 3.5. I reckon we'll get a few here. This is the one I liked for being possibly a bit of a high scorer. So I'm going to take Leicester v Ipswich over 3.5 at 7-4.
My Skybox has stopped working, Baz. Twice tonight it's gone off, and I rebooted it earlier on. Yeah.
Oh, man. I've had my mum on the phone twice tonight. It must be a Newcastle Sky thing.
Oh, thank fuck
My
for
mother
that.
is,
So it's
my
not
mother
just
is
mine,
having an
banging.
absolute meltdown because it went down. She was on the phone to me, and I'm saying, press this, press that, try this, try that. And then after 5 minutes of her nearly fucking having a breakdown because she gets stressed out about everything. She said, it's come back on. It's come back on. It's all fine. It's back on. And then 20 minutes later, she rings me up. It's gone off again. And like fucking going mad. She's going absolutely berserk.
Well, it's still on. Like the green button's on.
Phoning me up 200 miles away asking me to fix it. You know what I mean?
You see, I just shouted at the IT department until she rebooted the whole thing. But the green light's still on, and the red light, which insinuates something's recording. Oh, well, I'm pleased that's not just me. That's a weight off my shoulders, Barry. I'm glad I said that. Anyway, the upshot is I've had to put the dodgy box on, and I've ended up with the Christmas music channel. So that's nice, isn't it? In the middle of May. Where are we going? Next up is 4:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 local time, 11:30 Eastern Time. Arsenal taking on Newcastle United. This is what you've been waiting for, Joe. Arsenal are 19 to 20, minus 105. 27 to 10, the draw, plus 270. 27 to 10, Newcastle, plus 270. This is you or me, Baz. This is you, innit? Go on, you go first.
Whatever. Go on. Well, find me notes because I thought it was you. I mean, it's looking like a bigger fixture now after last week's results. Newcastle could jump above Arsenal this weekend. I mean, I don't think it's hugely important in terms of Newcastle's season. Top 5's very much the target. And the positive for Newcastle is we'll start the final day in the top 5 regardless of what happens, which was the big bonus of that win over Chelsea last week. I mean, a win here would pretty much guarantee Newcastle Champions League football. I think Arsenal need one more point to guarantee them top 5. Form-wise, 3 times we've played Arsenal, 3 wins. Arsenal haven't scored against us in 3 games. And just sort of trying to set my bias aside just for a little bit. I just can't imagine many people will be rushing out to back Arsenal here at odds on 19 to 20 or 9 to 10 or whatever they are. I mean, they've won just 1 of the last 6 league games now and won only 3 of the last 10. They've dropped points against worse teams than Newcastle as well. And even at home, they're winless in their last 3 home games. That was Bournemouth, Palace and Brentford. All came away from the Emirates with something. Newcastle's recent record, 7 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. Really, really good form. I think Newcastle look the better value for me at the prices. I haven't taken them, but you could get Newcastle double chance even as well. 4 to 5 looks appealing. But my pick's going to be the Cards because there's been plenty of needle between these two sides in recent years. The Cards totals in the 3 games this season, there was 4, 5 and 8. The line here's over 4.5. And at 10 to 11, I think that's a fair price. Newcastle will take the lead. Arsenal will spit their dummy out because they're real disciplined, Arsenal, as you know. So yeah, we'll take the over 4.5 Cards between Arsenal and Newcastle at 10 to 11.
I was just going to say that, Baz. That's a nice pick. You've got a combative Newcastle team and an ill-disciplined Arsenal team. So that combination does lead you to coming down with cards. Just going back to Leicester briefly, Bob D wanted Vardy anytime goal scorer, and then he gets a card when he takes his shirt off. It's 5-1. That's a great pick, Bob. Proper D-gen activity.
I like it.
Yeah, good luck with that. Newcastle win either half at 6-5 for Michael. Second v third, yeah. Arsenal are hard to beat, but they don't win enough games, and certainly not against the good teams. Against the top 10, they've won 5 of 15. You can't back them at near enough even money. It's just, it's an unappealing proposition. Mickey Marino is suspended, having shown the customary ill discipline last week against Liverpool. Newcastle in good form, 7 wins in 9. Already beaten Arsenal 3 times this season without conceding a goal. The negative for Newcastle is that away from home against the good teams, we've got tonks every time. Played 4, lost 4 against the top 6 teams here. But Eddie Howe always, and I don't use that word lightly, always outcoaches Mikel Arteta. So I don't know what the plan is, but I know there'll be one. I'm confident there'll be one. Sven Botman, little bit of a miss for Newcastle. Worrying news there. If Trippier's not fit, it means Emil Kraft will have to play fullback. But I've got no problem with that. A little bit conservative. I'm not going to mush it by taking Newcastle outright at 27-10. But you mentioned the double chance, Baz, and I agree. I think it's a great bet. Newcastle double chance 4-5, -125. Joe's complaining about the discipline. Joe, we only say this because of you. If you didn't keep moaning on, me and Barry would leave it alone. The ill-disciplined term is entirely for an audience of one, Joe. So we'll put our fishing rods down if you stop taking the maggot off the end of the hook. Raya 4 saves at 130 and 5 saves at 9-1. Michael, it's about time Michael threw out some goalkeeper save stuff. That used to be his thing. We haven't had it for ages. Final game is on Monday night at 8 o'clock. Brighton and Hove Albion against Liverpool. Brighton are 8-5 +160 underdogs. 11-4 the draw +275. And Liverpool are 29-20 +145. A really tricky one, this, with not much to play for. Brighton played okay at Wolves last week in a 2-0 win. That hadn't been in keeping with their recent form before that. Liverpool played well for a bit against Arsenal, got 2-0 up. But I really don't know how hard they're going to try here. They phoned it in against Chelsea the week before. Last week was a bit more high profile because they were back at home. First home game since they've been confirmed champions, guard of honour and all that shite. It looks like goals, but the cop-out of both teams to score in over 2.5 was really, really short at 4-6, -150. I think this is going to be a slow burner, Baz. I've gone into the stats again here, which I often do when I'm struggling to pick a side. And I really like what I've ended up on. Brighton's last 2 games, Baz, have had match totals of 17 shots against Wolves and 18 shots against Newcastle. Now, even Liverpool-Arsenal last week, which was a wide-open game, bit of a basketball match, finished 2-2. Total shots in that was 29. Now, the line here is 29.5. So we've got 2 games for Brighton, 17 and 18. That's a fucking big old leap from 18 to 29. And then even the really expansive game would have came in under. We'd have won that by half a shot as well. So I don't know why we'd get to 30 shots when that evidence doesn't point to that at all. Under 29.5 shots is 5-6 at -120. And I've got a 20-1 for you here, Barry. This is going to finish 0-0. It's the 0-0 draw of the week, Baz.
Right.
You say things.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like this game, is the first thing. And the first reason being because you just don't know what Liverpool are going to do. And the second reason is because the bookies have dangled a big carrot in front of me again, haven't they? with Liverpool here at 6-4. They're just dangling that carrot. And I know it's a trap. Like it was a trap against Chelsea, like it was a trap against Arsenal. But they weren't that bad against Arsenal, and they did go 2 goals up, so there was potential to catch a winner on Liverpool in that one with some bookies. Brighton have had a decent little run lately, 2 wins and 1 draw in the last 3. But prior to those last 2 games, they'd conceded 2 or more goals in 6 straight league games. I can't see a 0-0 anywhere. Brighton can't keep a clean sheet, man. Well, I know they did last week, but let's forget that one. And that's the angle in for me. I wanted a piece of Liverpool due to the prices. I've been reeled in, but I thought goals might be the way to play it. I think Liverpool can get a couple here. So I'm going to take Liverpool's team total over 1.5 at 4-5.
Okay. Yeah, very horrible game. Another one that's down the list of things. Well, we did it, Baz. We managed to claw back the time from the top of the show silliness. Fancy stuff, exotics. I'm going to lead us off, Baz, for a little change. My lock is going to be Brentford at 9-10, -111. It was just the easiest handicap on the card. You're nodding your head. I don't know if you've gone with the same pick. My underdog is Crystal Palace in the cup. I didn't have that many dogs on the slate as it happens, but Palace I'll take in the cup. It's 7-2 in 90 minutes, or if you want to take him to qualify to lift the trophy, by all means do that. Corned beef pie accumulator. The foundations of that have got to be Villa and Chelsea on Friday night. We said we're all going to pile onto the double. So when we piled onto the double, then start putting on other stuff. And the other stuff I put on was Brentford. I put my lock on the end. That gets you up to 5-2. You can get plus 257 for that one. My stake in Stilton is focused entirely on those 2 Friday night games, Barry. And it's a correct score double. This is how confident I am. Yeah. You can make that face, Barry. Aston Villa 3, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Chelsea 2, Manchester United 0. 85-1 we're paying there. 10-1 for Villa 3-0. And round about 17-2 or 13-2 for Chelsea to win 2-0. So 85-1 there. And my anytime goal scorer, I couldn't get away from Friday night. Friday night just seemed so obvious. It's a big one as well. It's another fucking big one. It's Ezri Konsa. It's 33-1. 10-1 to score at any time. Tottenham have no interest whatsoever in defending any set pieces. So the minute John McGinn puts a ball in the box, Ezri Konsa will head it in the goal. So we've got all sorts of giant price winners there, Baz.
Yeah, you've got lots of action on a Friday night. And you know what the good thing is about that?
It's a shit weekend. If
it can't be,
Tottenham and Man United nick a 1-1, I'm going to have a miserable weekend.
It can't be a miserable weekend because if Tottenham and Man United do anything, that's all good for Newcastle. If Aston Villa or Chelsea drop points, we're winning anyway. So it's the perfect storm, really. Lock for me, Brentford to beat Fulham. Same pick. My dog, I'm going to take Newcastle, 27-10. Do what we've already done 3 times this season and beat Arsenal, probably without conceding a goal. Scorer, I'm going to go for the fairy tale of Jamie Vardy getting his 200th goal. 21-20 anytime. They'll do everything they can to try and get him a goal. He'll be on every free kick, every set piece. So I'll take Vardy because he can't score next week because they're not going to bother trying him next week.
He's got the day off, hasn't he?
They must be confident he's going to get his 200th goal. Maybe they've already scripted it in. I don't know. Corned beef pie, Chelsea Villa handicap double on the Friday night. So that fits in with your correct score. I will hit my corned beef pie with that 3-1 for Chelsea and Villa to win by 2 or more. The stake in Stilton, this is daft, but it felt daft last week and we got a winner. But we've seen some of the relegation teams being party poopers in the last week with Leicester beating getting a draw of Forest, Southampton against City. So I'm going for the same again here. A couple of teams to spoil the party a little bit. So it's going to be Southampton at 6-1 to spoil the big Goodison Park closing party.
Nice.
We're going to go for Ipswich at 2-1 to spoil Vardy's leaving party. That comes in at 20-1 double. Ipswich and Southampton both to win. And I'm going to add in West Ham. I'm going to add in West Ham as well. So we'll take the double at 20s, but add in West Ham to put the final nail in Forest Champions League hopes. Party poopers all round, 55 to 1 for that treble. West Ham, Ipswich, Southampton all win, 55 to 1. But we'll take Southampton and Ipswich in a double at 20s as well.
I feel like that last section is the furthest off the rails we've managed to get for quite a long time. 85s, 55s, 33s, Ipswich and Southampton doubles, all sorts of muck in there. We could look very foolish, Barry, on Sunday night.
I mean, I cashed the winner 30 to 1 last week, Malcolm. So, you know, I'm all right.
Mate, you're playing with house money, you are, Baz.
I've got a ladder.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go back to that Leicester game again, because I did think it was a game that stood out for me. I think could be quite open. There might be a few goals. So I've gone for the corners in the Leicester-Ipswich game. But I'm going for Leicester corners in particular. Ipswich have given up loads of corners lately, double figures 4 times in their last 10. And they've given up at least 8 in 6 of their last 10. So there's a chance to get right up the ladder, I think, with this one. Leicester corners starting with over 5.5 at even money. Over 6.5, 2 to 1. Over 7.5, 3 to 1. Over 8.5 at 11 to 2. 9.5 is 9 to 1. Over 10.5, Leicester corners at 14 to 1. And I'm going to finish off at 11.5 because Ipswich have given up 12 recently. Over 11.5 Leicester corners at 20 to 1. So we'll start at over 5.5 Leicester corners and we'll go all the way up the ladder to over 11.5 Leicester corners.
The bet builder there, Barry, on over 11.5 Leicester corners and Ipswich to win. But yeah, that's a good face. Lovely. Right. Well done, mate. That was fun. Appreciate all of that. Have you got anything you want to tell the people about before we let them go?
I'm off to London tomorrow.
Why?
I'm going
See
to
the
see
Queen.
a show. I'm going to take the kids to see a
Giraffe
musical.
on sticks. What?
No, we're going to see Mean Girls.
Ooh.
Oof. I'm
That's
not
all
sure
right. I
how.
don't mind that. I watched Mean Girls, the new one, quite recently.
Yeah,
Just by
this
myself,
is.
like on a Saturday night. Bit
I
weird.
can imagine.
Not weird for a 50-year-old girl to watch, is it?
You know me, I'm a bit of a culture vulture, ain't I? I'm fucking
Oh,
always
aye,
out at
absolutely.
live music and live shows and all this lot. So we got a good deal on tickets. Someone was selling 4 tickets for a reasonable price. So we're driving down. As soon as the kids finish school, drive down to London. Going to park up at Wembley just because it's on the outskirts and I can get a train in. And go see a show and then get some food and come home.
Oh, well, that all sounds fucking awful. I hope you have a lovely time, Barry. So there you go. Thanks, everyone who joined us. We'll be back to do the rest of the Premier League games. You don't have to do any work, Baz. You've already done them. But I'll get stuck into them. Good luck with your picks. Don't forget the Preakness, where I've almost certainly given out the TriCast. And we will see you all down the road. Cheers.